everyone, welcome to another Altenew Educators video hop. This is all about layering it up, and on this 5x7 project I have used the press plate to put a subtle impression into the first layer, and we have added a embossed layer for some texture and to help ground these beautiful flowers, which is our other layer here of beauty. And we have the sentiment layer as well. So I don't think I could fit any more layers on this project. So let's start with the press plate. So that as that is a 5x7 card base, I'm using a piece of card stock that is 6 7/8 by 4 7/8, because when it's done, I want a little white border around the edge of it when it's attached to the card face. And this is from the Cozy Cardstock collection. So you want to get your piece that you're going to press with the press plate onto the board for the press plate. Of course, get your tape on there. Put as little tape on the cardstock as you can, or as little as needed, so that you don't end up ripping off any cardstock when you're done. And right now I'm placing where I want that press plate to go. You'll notice the colors on there. I used once before my alcohol artist markers to color the press plates, and although it did stain the press plate, it does not come off anymore. It's just stained. So that's another fun little trick to do with your press plates, is use your alcohol markers. So I'm using Strawberry Fresh Dye ink. It's about the same color as that cardstock because I didn't want a very bright impression. I just wanted to be able to have a little bit of those fibers dyed into the cardstock once it's pressed. So it's going to be a very subtle impression here, which I think works pretty nicely. So we can remove this, of course. Make sure you clean that off when you're done. And carefully remove your cardstock. Carefully remove that tape. It is tape that comes with the press plate, but it could still rip if you're not careful. Now, I also took the Wood Planks 3D embossing folder and a scrap of craft cardstock to make that wooden layer. So first, before we add that wooden layer, we've got to attach the layer that we did in the press plate here. Glue it all over, center it nicely. Like I said, there's going to be a little white border around every edge. I always like to put a little border. I very rarely will do a card layer all the way to the edge of the card base, so I like to leave that little white layer. Now, you want to position this. It's positioned on an angle for interest, but you'll notice on the sides of that is where the paper hung out of the embossing folder. So when you attach this, you want to make sure that those edges from the embossing folder do hang over the side of the card so that you can trim those off when it's dry. Press it down good because it is embossed, so you want to get the glue all up and everything there. Set that off to the side to dry. And here we are using my new favorite die set, Dahlia April Heather. Very, very easy die set to layer up. Very effective. The flowers are made from alcohol ink background 6x6 cardstock set and the blends 6x6. So that's what I'm showing you right there. Just make sure you cut those off, of course, because it's got to fit your card. So we're going to use the space as well as we can. This die set has 2 flowers only. So I'm putting the biggest one where there's most white space, as you will, and the little one next to it. I'm only putting glue in the middle because I'm going to be tucking in the leaves all around the petals, and if I glue the whole thing down, I won't be able to stick petals underneath. So stick those down nice. And that looks great. Now this is my silicone glue mat. I'm going to put some glue on there. You don't have to have a silicone mat. You know, a scrap would be fine, but I'm going to use the end of a paintbrush to curl up each of the leaves just to give them some texture and depth to their layer. I think I consider the leaves another layer, so I would say this card has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. If you count the press plate, the embossed piece, the leaves, the flowers, and then the sentiment. I'm pretty sure I could have added more layers, but I think 5 is pretty good for a card. And of course, that blends, alcohol blends cardstock, makes doing leaves and petals so easy with all of the colors already in the cardstock. I don't think I could even mimic that if I used my own inks and things. So before we attach the leaves, we want to put our sentiment on because the leaves are going to be accented around the sentiment as well as the flowers. So I'm just very lightly dipping that sentiment into my glue spot, very lightly so it doesn't ooch out. And I'm going to stick it in where it fits perfectly on that wooden layer. And now the fun part, now we're just going to start sticking on our leaves. I do need a little more glue there, so that's what I'm doing. So just by holding with the tweezers, the rolled up tip, I'm going to put glue at the base of the leaf, just at the base. That way, when I stick it in and tap it down, the part that I rolled up for depth is still going to be sticking up. Now again, the cool thing about using the blends, the alcohol ink background, cardstock, is you get so many different colors on one piece of cardstock, and the leaves for this die set all come on one die. So with one die, you cut out one whole bunch of leaves. So by just placing it anywhere on this particular cardstock, you can get all different variations and colors of leaves without having to re-ink or do anything. Pro tip, work smarter, not harder. Get the alcohol ink backgrounds and the blends 6x6 cardstock packs to make your die cutting flowers and leaves life so much easier. And look at that, we're just tucking them in there. Tuck them in. Make sure that the leaves don't stick out over the edge of the card base because you want the card to stick in an envelope, of course. Did I use all the leaves? I did. I think I used all the leaves that came in this set. I didn't like the 2 sitting there, so I added a 3rd because, you know, 3s are awesome in design, of course. And that one had to go there because I just thought it evened it out nicely. And again, I'm not worried that it's covering over that impressed image because that's the whole point of it. It's a layer. Layers go on top of each other, so of course they're going to overlap. And that last little one can fit nice and cozy right up in there. There you are, a 5-layered card. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck on the blog, good luck on the challenge. We'll see you next time.